All right, everybody, welcome to Let's Paint Some Colors for a Color Wheel. So what we're going to do first is this. We're going to start out with our larger sheet of paper. This is the 12 by 18 piece of paper. I believe we had about 3 of these when we sent them home. I've got my paints. I went ahead and put my paints in the palette. Got my 3 primaries, my black and my white. Got my larger size brush. Okay, larger size flathead. Got some water over here and then some paper towels right here. So before you get started though, we need to get organized. Okay, and to do that, I need to label where I'm going to be painting what colors on the sheet of paper. So what's going to happen is this. We're going to have all 12 colors from the color wheel represented, along with a tint of each one where we add white, and also a shade where we add black. So if my math is correct, and sometimes it's not, that should be a total of 36 colors. Okay? So 12, 12, and 12, 36, yes. So what I want to do is this. I usually like to go ahead and just very lightly, all right, put in the colors. Okay? So I put in yellow, and I put T and S just for tint and shade. Okay? Then I go ahead and I do red. Okay? T, S. Okay? All right? And then I do blue. So I got my primaries done. T, S. And notice I leave a little space here too, because we're going to be basically painting like little squares. Okay? So give yourself a little space. I could, you know what, darn it all, I could actually move these down a little bit too. I could actually add a little more space here. Now, the other thing too, especially when you get with lighter colors, you probably don't want to have your pencil lines too dark. Okay? Because if you do that, you're going to be able to see through the paint, and it kind of gets a little tacky. There we go. That's much better. Then I'm going to go over here. We're going to do green. All right, we got my TS. All right, I'm going to do my purple. All right, TS. And then we're going to do orange. Okay? And my TS. All right, so we got that. Now, those are my primaries and my secondary colors. Okay? Then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to take yellow. Yep, I can do yellow, green. All right, the only thing I can't do is I can't do complements, meaning that they're directly across from each other. Like yellow and purple, you can't mix those together. So yellow, orange, yep, I can do that. All right, T, S, okay. All right, we got red, green. Oh, can't do it. Complementary color. Red, purple, yep. All right, all right. Red, orange, yep. I got it. Gets a little monotonous, you guys. Blue, green, yeah. That's kind of my turquoise color. And blue purple, but I can't do blue orange, so we're all good to go. All right, so I've got all my colors on here, guys. They're all represented. Like I said, it's not a bad idea to kind of lighten up a few of them that are a little bit dark, just simply so you don't have those lines showing through. Otherwise, they look kind of You don't necessarily want that. Okay, so there we go. I got that. Good to go. All right, now, once I have these on here, now I'm ready to start painting. Now, I typically like to start with yellow first. It's a color that can be very easily, what's the good word for it, contaminated with other colors because it's so light. So I just assume get that one out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of yellow, okay? And all you're going to do is you're just going to paint a little yellow square right from the container. That's all you want. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do something I call a dry brush. Just get that excess yellow off there. Take a little bit of white, all right, mix that white in with the yellow. Oops, hold on, I should show you here on the camera. Mix that white in with the yellow, all right, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this over here for the tint. Oh my gosh, looks good, okay, all right, looks very nice, all right. And then, here's the thing. I need to do a shade of yellow, but I can't have any white in my brush, okay? Anytime you do a shade of a color, get that white out of there. So I'm going to go ahead, clean this off really good. All right, got my water here. I'm going to kind of wipe it off really good. Ooh, that looks nice. I don't have anything in there. I'm just going to take a little bit of yellow, okay? Put it to the side here, just a touch of black. Boy, you don't need a lot of black. A little bit of black goes a long way, so I'm going to get a little more yellow here. There we go. All right, and what's interesting is this. When you mix black with the yellow, it gets a little kind of green, okay? Black has small traces of blue in it, turns the yellow green, okay? Boom, so that's what you got. You got your yellow, tint, and shade. All right, clean my brush off again. We're going to move on to the red. All right, sounds good, Mr. Carlson. I'm going to take my red, put a little swatch of red right here. All right, take a little bit of white. I'm going to create kind of a pinky bubblegummy color here. Got a little more white here, but this white might go through quite a bit white when we do this project here. All right, there's my tint, okay? And your tints don't have to be terribly bright, okay? But once again, you go to the shade, get it cleaned up, okay? Get your brush cleaned up. Gotta get that brush cleaned up. All right, then we're gonna take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Should get a little bit more of that. Because boy, I tell you guys, you don't need a lot of black. Ugh. All right, a little bit of black goes a long ways, okay? And that's perfectly fine. It's awfully dark, but you know what? I can still see traces of red in there, okay? It's not so much on the screen because I can see it's awfully dark there, but this is a nice red. All right, and then we go to blue, okay? I'm just gonna do the blue, then we're gonna go ahead and mix up a few of these other ones. Oh, shoot. Now, if this happens, you guys, and this has been known to kind of happen here too, chances are, you guys, if you swap it up right away, you can get it taken care of, and it'll usually come up right away. The other thing too is this. I don't have the biggest workstation here. If I was smart, I probably should put the wad over here. But also, too, this is going to get painted over. So I don't think there's too much worries with that. All right, so I don't think I'm going to worry too much. Now, if I had a nice painting on the top of that or underneath that, oh, yeah, I'd probably be a little upset. I don't think it'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of add a little tint to the blue. Try to make sure it's mixed up pretty good, too. I got getting a little streaky there. And then once again, I'm going to put my paints up here for now. I'm going to clean out my brush really good, make sure I don't get any water on my beautiful, beautiful painting here. All right, I'm going to get most of that stuff out. Looks like I had a little blue in there, but that should be all right, mixed with the black, as long as I don't have any of that gray. All right, now, because blue is already such a dark color, you guys, you really don't need a lot of black. Okay, so there you go, boom. So I got that. Now, next thing I want to do, guys, is you want to go on and you want to mix up your secondary colors. Now, I'm just going to do a couple of these, and I'm going to show you one other turret, and I'm not going to necessarily do them all, okay? This is going to kind of be your thing. But a couple things about these, you guys. For mixing up green, okay, because yellow is so, is such a light color, you don't need as much blue. Probably you need more yellow than you do blue, okay? So I'm going to show you. This is actually pretty good right here, okay? And I use more yellow than I have blue. I'm just going to go ahead and put my little green down here. That actually looks pretty good. All right, and then of course you'd want to mix up a tint of that, take a little bit of white, and I would do it as you go along, because if you try to go back, you guys, you're not going to get the true tint for that particular color. Now, here's the thing. If you're really kind of good about organization, you should be able to kind of do this. If not, I would just go right down the line and just kind of go back and mix up your colors. But if you want to, sometimes if you mix up enough of it, you can sometimes add like a little more yellow into this green, okay? And when I do that, all right, that becomes my yellow-green, okay? And I can go ahead and put that in. And yes, and sure enough, all right, that's more yellow than this one, and I should be good to go. Then I can go ahead and mix a little bit of white in there, create my tint, because it creates more paint. But the only problem is, too, I might have a hard time mixing that shade because I don't have a lot of it left, okay? But for right now, it looks pretty good. So it's kind of a nice way to be able to kind of skip some steps, but at the same token though too, you want to make sure that your colors do go in, like we did our color wheel, in kind of that circular pattern where you go from this green to the yellow green to the yellow, and then vice versa, when you go from green to the blue green, all right, or my blue green to the blue. All right, so you want to make sure that you get those colors to fall in there. You don't want your green to be more blue green than your blue green is. All right, because otherwise then it's going to be kind of out of order, and it's going to be a little tricky. Now, a few other things too, you guys, is this: the red purples and the blue purples get a little tricky to mix up. Okay, red purple. Think of it this way: you want more red in it than you do the blue. Okay. So something like this would be perfectly fine, okay? And you mix up a tint and a shade of that. If you want more blue-purple, okay, just take a lot more blue into the red, all right, and you're good to go, okay? All right, so, oh, there's my blue-purple right there, and that's awfully dark. Now, that's the other thing, too. We start mixing black in with that, it's going to be really, really dark, okay? I should also kind of touch base on these two up here. I know I touched base on the green. When you mix up the purple and you mix up the orange, just a few things with these particular paints, you guys, to kind of think about. I typically like to have, when I do a nice purple, I like to have probably more red than I do blue. Okay? It kind of shows up a little bit nicer. I'll grab a little bit more here too. All right, shows up a little bit nicer. It is going to be awfully dark, okay? But you're going to have something like that, okay? You do a tint and a shade of that, you're perfectly fine. And once again, it looks awfully dark in this video. In real life, yeah, I can see that it's a nice purple. And now, for an orange, once again, just like when we did kind of the green, you probably want to have a little bit more yellow than you do red, okay? Because, of course, yellow and red, they mix the orange, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix this down here. Now, of course, you always buy certain colors Like you can buy an orange paint that actually looks pretty good, and you don't have to worry about mixing it. You know, because right now this is looking a little kind of muted, if you will, but it's not bad. We're just going to go ahead and put the orange right down here. Ooh, that looks actually really nice. Okay. All right. And of course, if I wanted to make my yellow orange, I'd add more yellow to it. And of course, more red orange, I'd add more red to it. So right now I've got a pretty good start, you guys. I don't want to get too long here though, because I'm already starting to go on 10 minutes of this video. Oy, oy, oy. But a couple things to kind of keep in mind. Keep your paints organized. Make sure you label them. Cover your paints when you're done. Don't leave them out. And always wash out your brush right away. Okay, you don't want that sucker to be permanently hardened up on you, and that would just not be good. Then you gotta always get a new one. All right, so good luck, you guys, and can't wait to see how your paints turn out.